I tried to buy an iPhone 17 in Brazil today, and I nearly had a heart attack. So the new Apple iPhone was released in Brazil last week, and I thought I'd go and buy it. So I went to an Apple store in a shopping mall in Porto Alegre in the south of Brazil. And actually, it's not an official Apple store. There aren't that many in Brazil. There are actually only two, one in Sao Paulo and one in Rio de Janeiro. And in all the other large cities in Brazil, you have these stores called Iplace. And these stores are approved Apple resellers or something. And so these stores are owned by a Brazilian company, and they sell all the Apple products and then some other things as well. But then you can also buy Apple products in other stores. So you got some electrical retailers that sell Apple products, and then also the cell phone carriers or mobile phone operators. They also have their own stores and sell Apple iPhones. And then obviously you got online retailers as well. So let's go inside the store and see if we can find the iPhone 17. And the store looks nice, but it's definitely different to the official Apple stores, that's for sure. It's a bit simpler and a bit smaller inside here. And they've got most of the Apple products on sale here. So you've got the MacBooks, you've got the watches, you've got the iPad. But then also you can see here, they've got some products here which aren't Apple products. And you've got some speakers here and headphones. And I can see here they are JBL, which is a different brand. But let's go and have a look at the iPhones, which is what we came here for. So you've got the iPhone 17 here. And then you've also got the iPhone 17 Pro, which is a bit more expensive. And then you've got the iPhone Air as well, which is even more expensive. In first impressions, the iPhone 17 looks nice. But I would say it doesn't look that different from the iPhone 16. It's more or less the same size. Apparently the borders around the display are a bit thinner, which means the display is slightly larger. So it's 6.3 inches. The display rather than 6.1 inches for the iPhone 16. And also the display is a bit sharper. You can also increase the brightness more on this one. In terms of the weight, it seems to weigh more or less the same as the old one. And on the back here you've got the cameras. The main camera is very similar to the old model. It's 48 megapixels. But then you've got the ultra-wide camera, which is also 48 megapixels on this one, and it was only 12 megapixels on the iPhone 16, so that's an upgrade. And inside they may increase the memory, so it's 256 gigabytes versus 128 gigabytes. The chip as well is a bit better, it's an A19 versus an A18, which means it's a bit quicker. I don't know if you're going to notice it or not. And then apparently the battery is a bit better as well. So yeah, overall it's a nice phone, but there haven't been that many new upgrades and changes from the previous model. So now let's have a look at the price. So the price for the basic model of the iPhone 17 is 7,199 reais. That is $1,348 for the basic iPhone 17. You have got to be kidding me. I can buy the exact same model in the US for $799. So this price here is nearly 70% higher than in the US. I mean, that is crazy. And let's have a look at the iPhone 17 Pro, which is a slightly more advanced version. And the price for that is 10,349 reais. And let's convert that into dollars. $1,938. Nearly $2,000 for an iPhone 17 Pro. And in the US I can get it for $1,099. So again, the price here is over 70% more expensive compared to the US. I mean, who in their right mind is going to pay so much money for an Apple iPhone? That is crazy. Well, it's a good thing that Brazilians are so rich and earn so much more money than Americans in the US. But being serious here, on average, Brazilians earn a lot less than people in the States. So I don't know how people are going to afford to buy one of these phones for such a price. And if we look at this map here, which shows average incomes around the world, so it's from world data, so they show that the average annual income for Brazilians is $9,950. So that would mean that a Brazilian would have to work 1.5 months just to be able to afford this phone. But if we look at the States, where the phone is cheaper and salary is higher, so world data saying the average income is $83,000 in the States. So that would mean that an American on an average salary would need to work about 4 days to be able to afford this phone. So 1.5 months versus 4 days. I mean, that is crazy. Obviously, there are many rich Brazilians in Brazil who will be able to afford this phone, By looking at average salaries, that's going to be very difficult for someone in Brazil to be able to buy this phone. Oh, but you can see here you can buy in installments. That makes it so much better. So you can pay for this phone in 12 installments over 12 months. And each monthly installment is 666 reais, which is $124 per month. But that means that the final price you pay is even more. 7,999 reais is what you pay in total if you pay using installments, which is $1,500. So now the price has just gone up another $150 to pay in installments. So if you calculate it, that means they're charging about 10% interest for you to pay in installments. And that's one thing you'll see in Brazil. You can pay in installments on nearly everything. I think the only thing I can't pay in installments usually is at the supermarket. And sometimes it's worth paying in installments because they don't charge any interest. So if you pay all at once or pay over installments, there's no difference in the price. And then usually I go for paying in installments if it's a large amount. But with the iPhone here, where they charge 10% interest, yeah, there's no way I'm going to pay in installments. So let's also just have a look at the MacBooks to see what price they are. Maybe it's just the iPhones that are so much more expensive. So what have we got here? So we've got a MacBook Pro 16 inches with a 14-core CPU, 48 gigabytes of memory, and 512 gigabytes of storage. And the price is 33,119 reais, which is $6,194. And in the US, you can buy this for $2,899. So with the MacBook Pro, the price is over 100% more expensive in Brazil compared to the US. But there's some other stores selling iPhones in this shopping mall, so let's go and see if they are any cheaper. So there's a store called Magazine Luiza, which is a very strange name. It's kind of Luiza's Magazine. And they sell electronics, domestic appliances, furniture, and many other things. So let's go and see if we can find it. And here it is. And no, the price is exactly the same, 7,199 reais. And the Pro is Pro as well, 10,349 reais. So there's no difference at all, exactly the same price. But you can also buy the phones at the cell phone carriers or the mobile phone companies. And usually if you have a contract with them, or if you're willing to buy the phone and start a contract with them, then usually you can get a discount. So let's go to one of the big mobile phone companies, Claro, and see how much they're charging for a phone if you have a contract with them. Here they've got the Apple iPhone 17 Pro, so the more advanced version, for 9,169 reais. So that's a bit cheaper. So it was 10,349 reais in Iplace and in Magazine Luiza. And here you can get it for, basically 1,000 reais off. So it's basically $200 cheaper. Still very expensive, but at least you get a small discount. But then in order to get this price, you either need to enter into a contract or already have a contract with them, which costs 319 reais per month, which is $60 per month. And $60 a month is a lot for a mobile contract. There's no way I'm paying that much. So yeah, you get a discount, but then you enter into this really expensive contract. So that's not worth it either. Okay, so that was a very successful shopping trip. But let's have a look online to see if we can get it cheaper there. And yeah, no, you can't get it any cheaper online at the moment either. So you got 7,199 reais for the iPhone 17 and 10,349 for the iPhone 17 Pro. So it's exactly the same prices. I mean, that is crazy. And you're probably wondering, why is the price so high for these iPhones? And one of the reasons is the high taxes. So you can see here that a cell phone made in Brazil, so smartphone nacional, tax is 36%. But then if you go down and see smartphone importado, which is the iPhone because it's imported, then the tax is 62%. And so yeah, Apple needs to charge this on the phones, and that has a big impact on these prices. But then I'm not sure whether some of the cell phone companies here in Brazil also have higher markups or not. That could be another explanation, which I haven't investigated. So yeah, I think the only option left for me is to buy it when I go overseas. So the good thing is that you can fly overseas and you can buy things for $1,000 per person, and then bring it back with you and not have to pay any tax on it. So you can buy a new iPhone 17 with you and bring it back and not have to pay any tax on it. And obviously it's per person as well. So if you're traveling with, wife and kids as well, that's $1,000 per person. So then you're able to buy quite a lot of stuff. But they do say that you're only allowed to bring in one mobile phone per person. I mean, I've never heard of anyone having problems with that. I mean, what they're trying to stop is obviously people going there and buying, 10, 20 iPhones, bringing it back into the country and then selling them for a profit. But they've also got a Samsung store here, so let's go and have a look at that. So they've got the Samsung Galaxy S25 models here, and the Samsung Galaxy S25, just the normal one, so not the Ultra or anything, is 6,299 reais, which is $1,178. And in the US, you can get the same model for $779. So buying it here in Brazil is $400 more expensive. And I'm a big fan of the Samsung phones. I think they're really good quality as well. So yeah, that wasn't the most successful shopping trip, that's for sure. And what I would say is that I was expecting this. And yeah, don't come to Brazil and be shocked by the prices of a lot of the electrical goods here in Brazil. They're going to be more expensive in general. And one of the main reasons for this is that the high taxes. I would say that take the opportunity when you're moving to Brazil to bring with you a lot of electronics. Because when you're moving to Brazil with all of your things, then in general you don't have to pay any tax on it, but just that one occasion when you're moving all your things to Brazil. And then also when you go on trips overseas, take the opportunity to buy some things there. And also just remember that other things are cheaper here in Brazil, so you're benefiting from that, and that kind of gets offset by higher prices on electronics and things. And I'll do more videos in the future showing you the prices of other things in Brazilian stores. So I hope you like this video. Please leave a like, subscribe. If you've got any questions or anything, leave in the commentary below. So thanks for watching. Until next time.